Did you know countries are buying gold like a crisis is coming? Not investors, not banks, governments. Across the world, central banks are quietly stockpiling gold at levels we haven't seen in decades. And they're doing it without press conferences, without announcements, and without explanation. So the real question is, what do governments know that the rest of the world doesn't? Introduction 020 Chiwan Jiraos. Gold has always been more than a shiny metal. It has survived empires, wars, collapses, and currency failures. And right now, nations from different continents, with different politics and economies, are all doing the same thing. They're buying gold, a lot of it. This isn't coincidence, and it isn't tradition, it's preparation. What's actually happening? In recent years, central banks around the world have dramatically increased their gold reserves. Some are doubling purchases. Some are buying quietly month after month. Some are even moving gold back into their own countries instead of storing it abroad. This isn't driven by fashion or nostalgia. Gold doesn't earn interest, it doesn't produce dividends, and it's expensive to store. So why would governments choose it now? Because gold is not about profit. It's about protection. Why gold still matters? Gold has one unique property that no currency has. It doesn't depend on trust. Paper money works because people believe in governments. Digital money works because people believe in systems. Gold works because it exists. It cannot be printed, it cannot be hacked, it cannot be frozen by sanctions. And it has value whether markets are open or closed. When governments buy gold, they are not betting on growth. They are preparing for instability. The bigger global picture. Look at what's happening around the world. When systems become complex, governments plan for failure points. Gold is what you turn to when confidence starts cracking. Not loudly, quietly. Is this about the US dollar? Partly, yes. For decades, the global financial system has revolved around the US dollar. Oil, trade, reserves, all dollar-based. But recently, some countries have been asking a risky question. What happens if access to the dollar becomes a weapon? Sanctions, frozen reserves, and trade restrictions have shown that money can be controlled politically. Gold doesn't answer to politics. By increasing gold reserves, governments reduce reliance on any single currency and regain a form of financial sovereignty. Why this is happening quietly? 6:30-7:30. Governments don't announce defensive moves, because if people panic, markets panic. And when markets panic, systems break. So instead of saying, "We are preparing for economic turbulence," they say nothing. Gold purchases are spread out, reported later, buried in technical documents. Silence is intentional. What this means for ordinary people. Here's the part no one explains clearly. When governments protect themselves, it's usually because citizens will feel the impact first. Gold stockpiling doesn't mean collapse tomorrow, but it does suggest uncertainty ahead. Periods where money loses purchasing power, savings don't stretch as far, economic shocks happen faster, stability becomes fragile. Governments plan decades ahead. People usually react after damage is done. Is a crisis coming? Not necessarily one single dramatic collapse. More likely, gold isn't about predicting disaster. It's about surviving uncertainty. And right now, uncertainty is the one thing governments agree on. So, did you know countries are buying gold like a crisis is coming? Now you do. When governments move quietly, it's often the loudest signal of all. The real question isn't if change is coming, it's who will be prepared when it does. What do you think governments are preparing for? Let's talk in the comments.